Hello and welcome to the Big Bang Theory podcast. My name's John. I'm here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Hello.
Listeners, we've barely recovered. Have you?
I have now, yeah. But it took me a good while.
Took me a good while. If you
I had
missed
to go
it,
straight to work.
I know.
Like, straight to work, and I was just like, I couldn't calm down. Giddy.
Yeah, I got home. My wife was watching some rom-com, and I was like, "What's this?
Yeah.
Where's Jack Sparks?"
Not enough excitement in a rom-com.
No, it wasn't. Listeners, if you missed it, and of course you did not, Exeter City came out triumphant victors over Harrogate Town, 4-3. But that doesn't tell the whole story.
What a night.
Oh, what a night, said Frankie Valli and his Four Seasons. And it felt like it was a night of Four Seasons, Dan.
It did a bit, I suppose. Yeah.
City were 2-0 down before 20 minutes had passed.
Dreadful start.
I mean, we were terrible. To quote John Yems, we were absolute garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't going our way, was it, at all?
You pondered if it was the time for the old-fashioned shout-out from the stands of wakey, wakey.
Yeah.
And I think it would have been.
I love a shout of wakey, wakey.
Never hear it anymore.
You never hear it anymore. And there's several occasions when that could have been deployed last night,
Yeah.
but the 90 minutes wasn't one of them.
It certainly was not. So 2-0 down. Matt Taylor does the rarely seen first half substitution. Off comes...
I feel like he's done this, has got some form of doing this, switching things early on.
Yeah. It's happened twice before maybe, but it's not regular, is it? I mean, in football in general. And he got booed for it.
I don't think he got booed for making the change, but he got booed for the specific change. I mean, you can't argue with it, can you? I mean, everything he did turned to gold.
It did.
Matt Taylor, basically.
Did you read the Twitter comments underneath being 2-0 down?
Yeah, they're brilliant.
Yeah.
I read them after the match.
Of course.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah.
It was the digital equivalent of wakey, wakey, wasn't it? So Diabate comes off, Josh Coley comes on, changed to 4-4-2.
Yeah, and I think the reason that people were kind of annoyed at that is because, one, Diabate's been so good.
True.
But also, you could argue probably that Sam Stubbs could have done better for at least the first goal.
Yeah.
Um,
True. And Nigel Atangana had been sloppy. That's probably doing a disservice to the word sloppy. He was...
I mean, poor old Nige. I mean, in a way, it's kind of a gamble, isn't it?
Having Nige.
It's to switch your system, switch your personnel.
Yeah.
System
so
was the
Dieng
same.
had a rest, didn't he?
Nombe's back in from the start. Dieng rested.
Phillips had a knock in the warm-up. Or
Something like that.
Yeah.
Key rested.
Yeah.
So you got Caprice down the right wing back kind of place.
Mm.
Sparks on the other side.
Mm.
Nige in the middle.
Mm. Collins in front.
Yeah, so then we make that change, and it's a kind of shape. It's the old shape shift, isn't it? You know.
Yeah.
The same thing that worked so well against Swindon, wasn't it? So Josh Coley comes on.
Straight away looks good.
Yeah.
Straight away causes a difference.
Yeah.
And
a bit more intent, quicker.
By about 37, I think it was, we'd won a penalty. Of course, Brett Huxtable's refereeing.
Yeah, he's there.
Old BH.
Old
BHS.
BHS.
Like BHS.
He's the size of BHS.
Dear me. BHS the only place you could buy pants big enough.
He's not even that big. It's just kind of big for a ref, I suppose, isn't he? Anyway, he wasn't actually that bad. Like, he gave us a penalty that was, probably a penalty.
Yeah, probably a penalty.
Yeah, anyway, Collins wins the penalty.
Yeah.
Giovanni
JB
tucks it right in the corner.
I thought the keeper had got it.
Keeper goes the right way. I don't think the keeper could have got that.
No, I think you're probably right. But at that split second, I was like,
too far in the slot.
Before that, of course, Nombe had missed a goal line opportunity.
Was that before that?
It was before that.
Yeah, this was bizarre.
It kind of bounced on top of the crossbar, didn't it?
Yeah.
The keeper went to catch it, couldn't catch it. Nombe stood close enough to snog the keeper.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's why he was there. We don't know. And kicks it at
Valentine's Day.
And then Matt J also kicks it at him.
Yeah, Jay's shot gets blocked by the keeper, right? Or was it defender?
No, I don't even know. Should have been a goal, wasn't.
Yeah, should have been. At that point, we're still in it at that point. I know when Giovanni scores, you're like, okay, right, we can salvage a point here. Do you mean, or maybe we better?
Yeah.
That's
5 minutes till half time.
It's not looking good, but we've changed things. It seems to have worked. Blah blah blah.
Taylor hauls off Nige at half time.
Yeah, half time comes.
Big TD.
Nige comes off. I mean, he was obviously never going to be. He wasn't put in there it was just to give Dieng a rest. And I felt a bit sorry for Nige. Really, he didn't have a good half. But you had to make that change. You got to kind of, if you lose it, if you go in half time 0-0, probably leave Atangana on. Do you mean for a bit longer?
Yeah.
You need to rest your players. You also need to win the matches, though, and you need those players to win the matches. As we did. Yeah. So not Dieng comes on. Anyway, then we go 3-1 down.
Yeah, we'd lost some of the... Because they were quite a good team, weren't they, Harrogate? As in, like...
Well, before we go 3-1 down, Sam Stubbs is injured.
Is that the order of things? Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's his shoulder,
we think.
I think, or something like that.
Or collarbone, CB.
But it was pretty quickly kind of like realised, wasn't it, that he needed to go off, wasn't it?
Yes. And so I wonder if that was already on the cards, because, maybe.
Or it's just bad. Or it's that bad,
Yeah.
That it's like, you can't carry on like
Yeah.
Just maybe dislocated, who knows? Anyway, he goes off. Jonathan Grounds comes on.
Yes.
Now when that third goal comes in, you think, okay, these gambles, not necessarily gambles, but decisions you make, here's the direct consequences of them.
Yeah.
Because you've taken off Diabate, big,
yeah,
good in the air,
yeah,
clean sheet merchant. I mean, fair enough, he was on the pitch when we conceded 2, but yeah, I know what
you're saying, yeah.
And then Stubbs has to come off, injured.
Yeah.
So suddenly our defensive line, little guys.
Yeah.
Grounds, Sweeney.
Yeah. Sparks.
Caprice. It's not...
Yeah, there's not a 6-footer amongst them, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, but luckily for us in a way, even though it didn't work, Harrogate aren't a big team, but they scored header straight from a corner. Yeah,
so we're 3-1 down with half an hour to go.
Yeah, and at that point, I was just like, okay, that's that, that is the end of that.
But it wasn't.
It really wasn't. There's a whole other match that happened after that.
Well, it was just remarkable, really.
So we've already made those 3 changes. So that's it now,
Yeah, we're stuck with these lot. And they just ramp up the pressure, don't they? And Harrogate let us, I thought Harrogate were going to do the old Northampton or Lincoln or whatever,
No, they did some minor time wasting, but it wasn't.
It wasn't really.
It wasn't.
No, in fairness to them. And also, they didn't just sit deep. At some points, they were sitting deep, but at other points, you're like, there's too much space here.
Yeah.
So Grounds ends up with the ball on the edge of the box, doesn't he, to the right-hand side of the goal?
Yeah. Wait, is this the first? Is that the? Yeah, that's 3-2,
isn't it? Yeah.
The ball comes in. It's a cross in. Is it even a corner? I think anyway. A cross comes in. I think it might be a corner. It bounces down, bounces around. It bounces to Grounds. He tries to header it, misses it, turns, and fires it through a crowd into the goal. 3-2. Now, we're going to come on to obviously Jack Sparks' goal, but I'll talk about this theory in a second.
Okay,
we'll get to it.
So that's 3-2.
3-2.
And you feel like, okay, there's still...
Yeah, then you're like, we're back in this because there's still 15 minutes left.
20 minutes left.
20 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, and it's Harrogate aren't good at defending. That was bad. That was that goal is the same for them as the second goal we conceded was. It was just like no one deals with the ball into the box at all, and it's just it's on the floor in the area. Whoever gets there first scores or gets it away.
Yeah.
So the same thing happened to them. Bad defending.
No, was it at this point? I can't remember, and it's not on the highlights that they had a breakaway and should have.
Yeah, I think it is. They had a one-on-one. They had a one-on-one. And
puts it wide,
which came from our. No, what did it? Well,
it was definitely everyone was up. I can't quite remember.
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't remember anything.
No, it's all a big blur, isn't it?
But somehow we hang on. It's still 3-2.
He misses it. That's how we hang on.
Yeah, he misses it. But at that point, we're still in it. Then, by the way, man who's just been given a new contract, Jake Caprice, who's been really good. He had a really good game, I thought.
He had a superb game.
Yeah, picks it up on the. Bear in mind, he's full-back here. He's not wing-back.
Yep.
But picks it up on the right-hand side and plays a absolutely sublime cross.
Yeah.
Perfect, wasn't it? No, he was Dieng wasn't marked very well. That's worth saying.
Oh, yeah, he had men around him though.
He had men around him.
And no one jumped and challenged. No one took charge of that cross. You'd like to think if City recently, if we had Stubbs and Diabate, they come and attack that ball and header it away. They don't do that. But still, the execution of the Dieng, I'll call it a glancing header.
Yeah.
But it's a bit more than that. It's a bit more directed, exactly where it needs to go. Keeper nowhere.
Travels the width of the goal, doesn't it?
Goal.
Yeah, such a good goal.
Such a good ball, such a good header. Tim Dieng, what was that, 8 goals for the season?
Yeah, 8 goals for the season. Previously, apparently, the most he's ever scored is 4.
There you go. And he got relegated. He played for a team that got relegated out of the Football League last season.
Yeah, he was in 2 consecutive relegations.
Yeah.
Remarkable. So that's 3-3. There's still 10 minutes left, Dan.
Yeah.
The pressure's on. Like, we're having chances. It's not really working. Nombe has a good couple of runs through. He plays a volley, doesn't he? I can't remember where that was. Collins has a shot that goes miles wide. Matt Jay has an opportunity where he should have shot on the edge of the box and he doesn't. And he looks kind of devoid of wanting to shoot, doesn't he? I mean, I don't know if it's
I think he looks a little
bit
loss of confidence, isn't it, or something? I think he just probably needs a goal or something to get himself back.
But it's not happening. And then
the ball goes up. 5 minutes added on.
Ooh, we're defending a corner at the time. It doesn't even feel like something, does it? Like when you're attacking and 5 minutes goes up, you think like,
but I think we did kind of, and that was against the run of play for the last section of the match. Yes. The fact that they were having a corner.
Yes.
Do you mean? But still, yeah, we'd already let one in from a corner. So yeah, but then, and then what?
Well, somehow, how does it even end up there? Does Jay play it across to Sparks?
No, it's Archie Collins. Who, by the way, was so much better in the second half than he was in the first half.
Yes.
So I think it's Jay that plays it into. Jay sort of gets tackled, doesn't he, or something? It bounces to Collins. Collins plays a quick ball to Sparks, who's in space.
And in the box,
Chops it back, leaves the defender on his arse.
Absolutely flying.
Onto, what would ordinarily be his right foot.
Yeah.
But he doesn't hit it with his right foot.
Hits it with the outside of his left foot in the old slicing motion.
Yep.
Which, we've all watched a lot of League Two football, haven't we, listeners? How often does this work?
I'd say very rarely.
Maybe this is one of 5 ever in my lifetime of watching. Anyway, it's a beauty.
Yeah.
Someone stood next to me, unnamed.
No, this is me you're talking about.
Oh, it's you, yeah.
Right. I just thought he spooned it, and I think I shouted, "Not like that,"
and turned away.
And I looked away before it went. Actually, the ball hit the net, so I didn't actually even see it go in. I mean, I saw the ball leave his foot, head towards the goal, but then I thought it had gone. I obviously just my eyes just diverted down or somewhere else naturally in despair. And then I see everyone around me going absolutely.
I mean, I also
mental.
Thought. I don't know where I thought it was going to land. I didn't think it would be the absolute top corner of the opposite.
I mean, what a way to win it!
What a way to win it!
And do you know what? It's good. It's testament to Matt Taylor for sticking with Sparks.
Yeah.
He's had injuries. He's had dips in form here and there. He's had another very player who's having a very good season, Jake Caprice, keeping him kind of out of the team on the whole. But he's brought him back slowly. He sent him out on loan. He's obviously been able to tell in Sparks that he's got this technique about him. Now, he's not the fastest. He's maybe not the best defender in the world, but he clearly got something, and it's talent, isn't it? Do you mean it's technique on? Because he's good. We know he's good at crossing. Do you mean not on the whole? He got good,
and he scored some good goals, hasn't he? But nothing like that.
Nothing like that. Flipping heck! What a goal!
What a goal! Everyone goes absolutely spare.
Yeah.
Everyone. And my favourite thing...
Well, it's just the emotional impact as well of just having 94 minutes of just kind of dejection and then hope and then more dejection and then daring to think maybe and then we could get a point and we've got a point and then you still doesn't happen often, does it?
No, it
come
does
back
not.
Like that. 2-0 down and then 3-1 down. And not being in the lead at any point during the game.
That's right, yeah,
until basically the last kick.
Basically the last kick. And then Sparks doesn't know where to run with his celebration.
Yeah.
No idea.
There's a weird little circle, doesn't he?
And then heads towards the corner, the standard corner. does a knee slide, and then everyone jumps on him.
Yeah.
And I think if half
Good old bundle. I mean, perfect time for a bundle, really.
perfect time. I think if anyone from the Big Bang could have got onto that bundle, they would have done. He would have seen like a 500-person bundle.
Oh, yeah, that'd been good.
Probably for the best of the person at the bottom.
Well,
Sparked.
think about his collarbone.
Indeed.
They should have been thinking about his collarbone.
And then Sweeney was patting him on the head a lot.
Yeah.
See, now he's like...
Good. He deserves a pass on the head for that.
Yeah.
And more.
4-3.
4-3. Here's what I was going to say. On the subject of outside of the boot shots.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you've got...
Do you mean like when you stood outside of Boots on the high street? And
Yeah, when you're meeting people outside Boots,
Yeah, yeah.
like everyone in Exeter used to do.
Used to do, yeah.
Um,
By the way,
remember that?
yeah,
I'll tell you why that is. One, you got a phone box outside Boots.
true.
2, central location.
Halifax cash machine.
Yeah, cash machines are plenty.
That sandwich shop down the alleyway,
Yeah,
run by John Peel's lookalike.
yeah, there. So you can grab a little, cob from there or something if you want.
Yeah.
And, that's it.
Um.
Outside of the boot, right?
Yes. Oh, sorry.
So
yeah.
Josh Cody comes on. He's playing on the left. Is this right? Or he's playing on the right and he's left-footed?
He's playing on the right and he's left-footed.
For that Nombe chance,
Yeah.
outside of the boot, ball from Josh Cody.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, right, okay, outside of the boot, shot. He can't hit it with his right foot, clearly. Jack Sparks, before he scored that goal right at the end, had hit another ball with the outside of his boot. I think maybe, or he did, or Josh Cody did it twice. Anyway, with Caprice playing on the left, we've had a lot of our players getting into positions where they could hit it with their wrong foot and not doing so because they literally haven't got another foot.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? But so in this case, Cody set up this chance without Jack Sparks has scored a wonder goal the outside of his boot. Not so your man Jonathan Grounds.
No.
Now there's the experience for you, and then that's what I think we should do. Probably about 20-minute dedicated section now about Jonathan Grounds.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sure.
Start now.
Okay.
He gets it.
Yeah.
He's not thinking, oh no, I'm a left footer. I have to cut this back. Like I think every single other player on that pitch would have done.
Yeah.
In our team at least.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to work this back onto my good foot. No, he backs himself and just goes like, yeah, I'm a player. I'm a baller, and he just smacks it with his right foot into the goal.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Learn from it.
He's good, isn't he, Grounds?
You can tell he's good. Can't you?
That's been a really good signing in a weird kind of way.
Yeah, I think it's a great. I really think it is. I think every time he's been called upon,
Yeah.
he
had one bad game right at the start, didn't he? Or one mistake.
I mean, or something like that. Yeah, but that's like his first game.
But since then, he's been really brilliant player to bring on.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially in a game like that, where I know we were never ahead and defending a lead, but when you just needed someone.
Well, as also like Matt Taylor says in his interviews a lot, and last night too, it's a very young side, and that's true. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
not only are they young, but a lot of them are quite inexperienced, as in they've only ever played for Exeter.
Yeah. And they've only played a season or two.
Yeah, and I know Grounds isn't the only one. We've also got Amand and a couple of others who are like kind of got a bit more experience, and he's kind of always done that. Like, you need to do that. It's the obvious thing. Young team, bring in some older heads with but Grounds. Yeah, you can just tell, can't you? I think that kind of is kind of the way he is on the ball. Do you mean and not hitting it not being able to hit it with your wrong foot? Let's be honest, is a very League Two thing to do.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And Jonathan Grounds just showing himself there, not a League Two pedigree.
Good shout. Here's what I noticed when he came on: Stubbs, Diabate, well, particularly them two, and Collins. Their inclination is to look backwards for the pass. And even when they're in possession with space, they look across. Jonathan Grounds, I think the first 2 times he had the ball, he just moved the ball forward 20 yards himself.
Yeah, he likes to carry the ball as well, I think.
He does, and I think that's something that Stubbs and Diabate, because like Hartridge does it, as we know, but that's something those two could learn from, because there was no reason not to. There was space, there was time, there were options.
Harrogate weren't pressing us with any kind of real urgency. Yeah.
That's experience from him, isn't it? That's right.
Yeah, I think positionally he's really good. He just knows where to be in that, Yeah, he's not the tallest, so he's not going to be someone who's going to be winning you every header in the box, but he's someone who can, do something else for you. He can, and look at last night, Technically, that's his first goal. You might remember he had the other one where he smacked it from the other side and Nombe got a toe on it, which he nearly did last night, but no one's taken that one away from Groundsy. No chance.
Groundsy. Yeah, so he went from ground 0 to ground 1.
Very good,
Thank
yeah.
you. So that was last night, and oh, what a night it was. And we're going to talk about what's coming up in a second. Welcome back to the Big Bang Theory podcast. I just can't even speak. I'm still excited about last night.
I know. We've just done a big load on it then, but I can't. I don't know. Have we displayed enough? I don't know how I can get it out into words. The feeling. Do you mean?
No. If you've got ways of getting it out into feeling, listeners, maybe you could text us a feeling on Twitter at Big Bank Pod or Big Bank Pod. BigBangPod@gmail.com. Send us a telegram, or you can find us on Facebook as well, which is nice. So the league...
When are we going to knock Facebook on the head and start posting, on TikTok?
Don't know, what would we do on TikTok?
I don't know.
Seems a bit visual for an audio format.
When are we going to go into NFTs? Big Bang Theory NFTs.
BBT NFT.
Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah.
If you know about that stuff, let us know.
I don't want anything to do with it.
It would be me and Dan just saying words, and you could own that recording of that word. Is that how it works?
Yeah, but ultimately I'll own it.
I don't know.
But you sort of in some sort of weird imaginary world, you'll own it.
Okay. Or you can just have a Big Bang Theory podcast scarf, which is real, and it will be yours if you've won the end of season quiz.
Yes.
Prediction league, you know what I mean. Anyway, who predicted this? Not me. Here's what the league looks like. Sky Bet League 2. Forest Green still top of the table. They've played 30. They're on 66. You might think, why are you mentioning that? They've long gone. Well, actually, maybe they haven't. Second is Tranmere. They've played 32. They're on 55. Third place in the automatic promotion places, for the first time in a long time, Exeter City played 30 plus 53 points. And we're on a plus 15 goal difference, which is the second best.
So we've got 2 games in hand over Tranmere.
And we're 2 points behind.
And we're only 2 points behind them.
Yes. We've got the same amount of games played as Forest Green.
Yeah.
So it's all a bit mixed up now with the games in hand and all that stuff.
Yeah, isn't it?
Then Northampton are directly behind us. They're in 4th. They've played 30, same as us. And they're on 52, 1 point behind. Then it's Sutton. They've played a game more than us, 31 on 50. Then it was the much fancied Mansfield. They're now down in 6th. They've only played 29, but they're on 49. Their run of winning has ceased. And then Newport are in 7th, played 31 on 48. Then it drops away a bit. You've got Swindon on 46, Port Vale on 44, Salford on 44.
Never mind all those bozos. We're up with the big boys now.
We really are.
Top 3. And we're coming for Tranmere to second place. And then we're coming for Forest Green.
Well...
And I tell you what, we're going to do it the hard way, like we have been.
So there's 16
Not
games
like
to
Forest
play.
Green just beating everyone easily. No. We're going to leave it all to the last minute. Half our squad's going to get injured in the process.
Oh, good
and somehow
Lord.
we'll find a way. Jonathan Ground's probably winning us the league ultimately.
That's probably what will happen. Yeah, so that's the league. That's quite the turnaround.
Yeah, but like they say, it's a results business. And results we've been getting.
Business is good, you could say.
Business is good, yeah.
So next up, home to Barrow on Saturday.
Well, hang on a minute.
Oh.
We beat Bradford 1-0 away.
Oh, we haven't even talked about that. Oh, flipping heck.
That was last Saturday.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, a lot of water under the bridge since then, so we can just get through it quite quickly. Brilliant. Obviously, I didn't realise at the time, even though we talked about it the week before, it suddenly, when it was on, felt like a really big game.
Yep.
I don't think much happened. We won 1-0. Kieran Phillips scored.
That's his first goal.
Lovely little dink over the keeper.
And he got absolutely mullered in the process.
Yeah, keeper came out and absolutely battered him.
Yeah.
Good ball from Giovanni.
Yeah.
Really well taken goal. And then we just kind of held them off, didn't we? Like, saw the game out. And that was at the end of the first half. So
yeah,
a brilliant win, that one.
Harry
Probably
Kite got injured,
actually, Harry Kite got injured. He was in for Jay, who was presumably having a rest.
Yeah.
But didn't get much of one because it's early. That was the
Yeah.
kite got injured, and yeah, it's a better win really than the Harrogate. Harrogate at home last night is one we should be winning. Bradford away is one we probably shouldn't be winning.
Mm-hmm.
But
So
what's that? 4 wins in a row.
4
now?
wins in a row, and I'm beaten in 5 or 6.
Yeah,
Very good. Very nice.
very nice indeed.
And you know what that cherry on the top of the cake is? Well, actually, it's more of a white cherry or a glacial mint. Derek Adams has been sacked from
Yeah.
Bradford after getting beaten by us.
Yeah,
See you later, mate. How's that for ambition, Derek?
Yeah, have some of that. You're going to need some ambition to get yourself another post.
Get yourself another post down Weymouth.
He'll get himself another job though, won't he? You know, Bradford's a shit show, and you know.
I mean, he's always good for a job because he's managed a few promotions, hasn't he? But
Exactly, he's not that bad.
what would be great, because obviously, understandably, he's probably well got it in for us this season. What would be great is if wherever he goes isn't a team we got to play again.
No, or it is, and we beat him again.
I wonder if that's
This
ever
will be
happened
his
before.
6th crack of the whip at beating Exeter City this season. And you know what? You get what you know. You put your neck out you put your neck on the line
he
like
had
that.
no reason to say that. The silly
He really
idiot.
didn't.
Silly idiot. Honestly, don't think we were even playing him at the time, were we? Anyway, whatever.
No, we weren't.
Goodness sake. See you later, mate.
He's gone.
So anyway, City in third. This weekend it's Barrow.
Barrow at home. We haven't beaten Barrow since 1972.
Flipping heck.
That
was before we were born, Dan. Way before.
Yeah, way before.
Yeah.
We've only played them 3 times since then, to be fair. Do you know what the score was when we beat them in 1972?
Tell me.
And this is the kind of crack research you can expect from 2022's Big Bang Theory podcast. Actually, apart from that time when we thought we were playing away and we're actually at home.
Yeah. Apart from that.
7-1.
7-1.
I haven't got any goal scorers for you, but I mean, no one would. We wouldn't know. Cliff Braston, probably.
Yeah, probably. Probably Bishop Granderson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
John Hooker.
Oh, yeah, it's Richard Hooker, but yeah, good one. Close.
Richard Lee Hooker.
Yeah. Famous blues theologian on the Cathedral Green.
Yeah.
The thing about Barrow is, do you remember we talked about this earlier off air. Never called it that before.
Live on the air. Devon Air.
We're live on Devon Air. We went up there. We played them twice, April and May last year, and couldn't beat them. And I remember the away game was awful. They beat us 1-0.
No, we drew both those games.
Last season.
Yeah.
I'm
Didn't
sure
we?
we lost
No,
one.
we did lose.
Yeah.
I think it might have been 2-1 though.
Oh, right, fine. And then this season it's been 0-0, wasn't it? Up at their place?
0-0 and 1-1, right? I'm not sure which is which, but we've drawn both of them. No, that's the other one last season. This season, sorry, yeah, you're right. 0-0.
Yeah.
Away.
So
Couldn't score.
So obviously they're that kind of team. They're the kind of team Harrogate I expected more to be like.
Yeah, well, a different
Big
task, isn't it?
lads,
We know this.
Different task.
They kind of freak us out a bit, I think, don't they, Barrow?
Yeah.
We're just like, oh, Barrow, they're so, these rock-eating monsters that, are going to, pulverize us, yeah, in their weird island stadium in the middle of the North Sea or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like something out of a cartoon.
I would not be sorry. Like, I know we're getting way ahead of ourselves, but Barrow's the kind of team you just want to leave behind, isn't it? Would not be sorry not to see them again for another 30 years.
Yeah.
And
I'm good for them for getting themselves up into
what
the
they do is
Football League.
effective, I know that,
But yeah, you don't want to see it, and it's like, it's very frustrating. But you've got to win the matches, whatever you're doing. So it'll be interesting to see what we do.
I think Taylor's feels much more empowered to make those changes. Obviously, the more you do it, the more it works. The more likely you are to give it up.
Yeah, true.
What we don't want to do is go down to an early goal.
No. We haven't been doing that much apart from Saturday.
And last night.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
But, I mean, Josh Key didn't play last night,
No.
so he's fresh.
Yeah.
Dieng only had half a match.
Yeah.
Nombe's back now. He played the full 90 minutes, and he looked like, he
looked fine, didn't he?
Never hurt a single fibre in his body,
Yeah.
So, pretty full-strength side.
Yeah.
Be interesting to see what he does with Sparks and Caprice.
I wonder what will happen with Stubbs. Stubbs might not be
Stubbs,
back.
we'll see. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Alex Harcher's hasn't been able to get anywhere near that side recently, so maybe we might see him back. Obviously,
You might see Grounds.
might see Grounds. George Ray's gone.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I still think we're fine for centre backs,
yeah,
but yeah.
it'd be
obviously
interesting.
changed it, 'cause
Be
that
interesting to see how we
partnership's
set
been-
up against them and how we go about that game. Obviously, it's at home,
Yes.
so we're on our. Yeah, we should try and dictate the game, play it on our terms.
Should be a big crowd. Not from Barrow, presumably, but
Yeah, you'd think so. I hope so. Anyway,
I was a bit surprised it wasn't busier last night. But I know Tuesday's
haven't
different.
been
innit?
massively busy. And we're
I don't
trying to
know,
work out what
kids
it is.
find it harder to get there or whatever.
Yeah, I don't know why can't people go on Tuesdays?
I don't know. It's just different pattern,
Work.
innit? Work
Got
or
work.
if you live further away. If
Yeah.
you're coming down, if you live in Bristol but you come to City every Saturday,
Yes, yeah,
there's
yeah.
that. There's kids getting home if they don't live in Exeter because
Yeah.
of the buses, and there's also kids who are too young to come. So I suppose that you probably lose 500 that way.
Yeah, I guess so. Anyway, it'd be good to see a big crowd there on Saturday,
I mean,
and it'd be good to have. I mean, do you know what I want? I'd really like is a very straightforward, comprehensive win.
a nice 2-0. Score one after
3-0.
25 minutes. And
Why not
a
4-0?
second on 55. Why not 4-0? 4-0
Yeah.
would be lovely.
7-1,
Well, if we can do that again.
like the old heydays, 20 years ago, exactly. Wait, no, hang on a minute, no,
Hold on.
50 years ago.
Close.
Is that right?
Yeah,
50 years ago to the day.
probably. We don't know because we were on a different calendar back then. The
Hang on,
Romans
I'll tell you the
dictated
day. It was 29th
it. Yeah.
of April,
Right.
1972.
Mm.
Do you know what? In the same year, how come we played them 3 times in the league? Oh, no, that's the year before. We also drew 0-0 with them away at Barrow, so some things never change.
God, please get us away from Barrow.
20 years ago, it was 2002, but 50 years ago, we beat Barrow 7-1.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again on Saturday.
And then we get
7
a rare...
goals from Jonathan Grounds.
Oh, imagine.
They haven't even got a word for that when someone scores 7.
No. Then we get a Tuesday off. I know there's
Yes.
more coming, but there's this Tuesday off, and then it's Bristol Rovers away. That's a big game.
It is a big game. I think they won last night, didn't they?
And obviously they'll not be fondly remembering when they came to St James Park back in August or September.
Yeah, and then again in the cup, or whatever cup that was, and we beat him in that.
Oh
too.
yeah, the Papa John's, wasn't it, or the EFL or something? Yeah. Okay. So it's it's a good time to be a Grecian. Glory be.
It is, but it's quite stressful too, isn't it? You know,
Well, it's kind of easier when you're mid-table mediocrity,
we
isn't
keep
it?
pulling him out of the fire, don't we? And like,
I know.
anyway,
Just
yeah,
think,
that
though,
was absolute. What a experience that was. Do you mean?
And some people were sat at home watching PSG Real Madrid,
Yeah,
where they got one goal in the 90th minute.
yeah. Not for me. I like it.
Messi misses a penalty. Giovanni Brown scores a penalty. That's just plain maths.
That's simple arithmetic.
City's better.
Yeah. I mean, maybe it's that. Maybe some people are going like, "Oh, no, I'm sticking in to watch
Yeah.
Champions
You might
League."
lose a few people because of that.
You're nutters.
I mean, if you haven't learned your lesson after that, I don't know. Nothing will teach you.
I can't remember. I mean, I can't remember anything, so it's hard. But I can't remember a feeling like that for a long time.
Well,
I guess a playoff.
The
It would have been one of the playoff semi-finals
but of course, with those things, you're more prepared for.
for drama.
Well, something's gonna happen, isn't it? You're either winning or you're either through or you're not through.
I guess so. Yeah.
But this was so remarkable.
Yeah, and just like I just think again, he didn't seem to want to take much credit for it last night, Matt Saylor, but he has to because he just made these big decisions,
Yeah.
and they were big decisions
Yeah.
as well, and he got them all right.
Yeah, every single one.
Even
That's
the
right.
one people thought everyone was no one complained about Coley coming on and changing the shape, but they didn't want Diabate to go off. You know,
No.
me too. I was like, why is he going off? He's the best player on the pitch because he'd done all right. I mean,
Yeah,
like-
yeah. And obviously he's been brilliant all year.
But Matt Taylor was right, and you know, obviously there's an element of no. I'm not going to put it down to luck. He's made the right calls. You know what I mean? And
Yeah, I mean, sometimes you make the right calls and they don't work out. But last night you made the right calls and they worked out. And
Yeah.
this keeps happening for him.
yep, exactly. So you can't just saying I wouldn't say he's being fortunate. You just got to say, well, no, he knows what he's doing. You know, and like
Yeah.
he knows how to affect games. It's a really valuable thing to have in a manager, and he's he's got them all right recently.
He really has. Do you think he feels better as well now that the other Matt Taylor's been sacked?
Yeah,
You're
he's
definitely
the only
pleased.
show in town. Yeah, yeah. Well, where I worked, they employed another person called Dan,
Yeah.
and I was, spitting feathers.
I just don't know who I am anymore.
No, it's something to do with that. It's just like that. I've worked here for ages. How dare you? That's me. That you can't. So, anyway, he didn't last 5 minutes. He was rubbish. He was rubbish. So he had to go, and I said, then I felt vindicated. And I thought, yes, good.
That's my name.
Exactly. Yeah. This is a very common name.
Yeah.
Well, it was. I don't think many people have been called Daniel now, are they?
I don't think so.
Not many Johns either, wouldn't have
No,
thought.
nor Matt Taylor's.
But there might be some more Jacks and Johns coming soon.
What, named after Jack Sparks and Jonathan Grimes?
Yeah, after last night.
After last night. I wonder how many babies were conceived last night.
There'll be loads, isn't there?
Loads.
Everyone's going home,
Yeah. With a twinkle in their eye.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Take off their
spring in
matching
their
City
step.
Bobble hats and they...
Leave it on.
Sure. This
No.
child shall be called Giovanni.
Leave the bobble hat on tonight.
Well, on that note, where can you go with that? We'll be back next week, earlier in the week, of course. My name's John. I've been here with my friend and colleague Dan.
Cheers.
See you soon.